All right. Hello, traders. Everybody, welcome to Follow Up Fridays. Now, today is Friday, April the 5th. We are going to go over together what happened during this week. We're going to have a look at the main fundamental economic factors that are affecting markets today. We'll look at the top currency pairs. We'll have a look at the non-farm payroll. What's on everybody's mind today, guys? How can we make money on one of the major economic moving factors that have statistically moved markets the most every month without fail? So we're going to look at US non-farm payrolls. We're going to look at Canadian data, employment data. We're going to go through what's going on between the US and China trade talks, what's going on in the UK, what's going on in the EU with the DAX, with their policies, and look at a few other fundamental economic factors that are affecting the landscape. Now, I want to spend a few minutes to say what's up to you guys in chat. Please go ahead and write me if you have any questions or if you just want to ask me something in regards to trading, and then we will slowly get started. So hey, now I want to make this real quick, guys. Again, I'm not an account manager, so I'm not going to tell you how to withdraw money, how to deposit money. You can do that very intuitively by going here and on the MetaTrader platform, by going to the buttons inside so withdraw and deposit. So now that we got that across the way, if I ignore your question, that means your question was either A, incorrect, you asked it to the wrong person, or B, there was not enough information that would spark an interest to reply to your question. So please don't get offended if I miss your question, probably because you asked it wrong. Now, if you listen, you can hear which questions I do answer and what that sounds like when they're being asked. So I want to say hello to Ernest Anal Siki, Idan Ranon. Hey, Shiri Yadev, good to have you with us. Ramo Mabini, hello. Phoebe Trazo, hey buddy. MD Nazir, Sumat Kumar, hello. Pinoy Entertainment, hey, welcome. Now, you guys, if you keep it to English, I'll know exactly what we're talking about, right? I mean, because I only speak a few languages, but what you guys are typing up are not one of those. So, Singer Aku, hey, buddy, good to have you with us. All right. Naves T, what's up? Windrow, please, Manaj, hey, bro. Narayan Persad, all right. Technical Kappa, awesome, hey, buddy. Vivek Singh, hello. Anu Pachai, hello. Glamly, hey, welcome. Good to have you with us. Narayan Prasad, hey, buddy. Muhammad Ali Amin, hey. Tenveer, I see those sad faces. Hey, Mr. Birchenko, the last webinar for this weekend. Yeah, but that's okay. You know what? I'm going to try to record some stuff. I have a lot of things planned for the weekend, but I will... It's in the works that I spend my weekends working as well. The last thing that I'm trying to conduct is a platform webinar, basically showing you the different platforms for different brokers that are available, and when it's on my free time, I can absolutely do that. So I am planning on keeping working, but this weekend, just a lot of stuff that I need to get done. So please excuse me if I take a break once in a while. Glamly is asking us, can we please look at the following assets? Dollar CAD, Aussie USD. I analyzed a long position on both. What do you say? I'm going to write those down and we will look at that. So dollar CAD, we're looking at that anyway, but Aussie, we will for sure look for you, Glamly. Risky Row. Hoo-ha. All right, Lowell Tenveer GTV, it's not the end of the world. Oh, that's so sweet. Abbas, I love SK. Oh, hey, Rahud Agarwal, good to have you guys with us. VL Creation, har. Cool name, hey man. Ramanis Abanis, hello. All right. Sumit Parmar, Yasak Mepse Vapis Dete Hena. All right, I'm going to learn another language while doing these webinars with you guys. Tenveer HDTV, you guys are doing the back and forth talking. All right. Hi from Nairobi. Tenveer, please, since it's free, how come there's so few people here? Because people don't value what's free. I'm sure if we made it paid for, you know, like at least $100, a lot more people would come and they would be frivolously taking notes. But you know, easy come, easy go, as they say. So it's like everything else in life. You know, the people that make it in trading are the same people. If they would have went into business, they would have made it in business. And the last part of the webinar is going to be psychology. We're going to go through a lot of the different things that will help you. Like we went a few weeks ago, we went through mistakes that traders make, right? You know, negative things. I thought we'd change that up a little bit this week, and I say, what is good? What do traders do that is good for their trading and that will speed up their path to become a CPT? And a CPT is a consistently profitable trader. I'm going to start using acronyms like that so you guys can, you know, get your ears ready. Because if any of you do end up moving from retail and into the professional trading sphere, right? If you start working for a prop firm or a hedge fund, you're going to need to learn these terms. So I want to, because I'm holding your hand through this journey, I want to take you not only from beginner to beginner, I want to take you from noob to beginner to CPT to pro. If we can do that path together, you know, I will be the happiest person on earth. So, like, you can only become successful in life when you bring about the success of other people. And so I believe if I walk the path with you, then I can gain, you know, new friends, I can gain new insights, and I will remember the information that I teach you myself much better. So that's the master plan. Good afternoon, MD Tausif Alam. Hello. All right, Ebenezer James. Love that name, Ebenezer. Ebenezer Scrooge was a fairy tale in the United States about a really old or a very greedy old man. Anyways, we're diverting. Hello, hello. Is it legal in India? Yes, it is. Why isn't he starting? Mortoba, I was making sure that the platform was working perfectly for you. So I restarted the computer, I restarted YouTube, I restarted the software, and now it looks like we are having great connection. So thank you for your patience, and we are going to continue. Why can't I withdraw my profit on the demo account? Timothy Adalola says. Can anybody answer him in chat? All right, when one day I'll become a millionaire, people will ask how, and then I'll say I had a great mentor. My man. You know what? If you do become a millionaire trader, let's open up that hedge fund together. I am really keen on opening up my own practice. Glamly Twisted, lol, Reja Sani. Where's all our Muslims? Where's the Muslims? Can I get an assalamu alaikum in chat? Maritoba Jacob, is no one called demo account. There we go. Oh, you beat me to it, Jacob. What's up, buddy? Hey, Stefan Carriono. Good to have you with us. From Brazil, Eliosio Sosares. All right, new here. You came to the right place. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. I just want to get through chat and make sure that everybody feels included, right? We're a big family, a big happy family. Dollar yen. You beat me to the punchline. We will definitely look at the dollar yen. Now, every Friday, there's a COT, Commitment of Traders report that comes out. Sometimes when I can't wait for the end of the day, I read that ahead of time. So I jump on the CBOE, Chicago Board of Exchange, and I look at the different changes in how much open interest we have on currencies. Now, open interest basically is how many open positions are there on a currency. And with the yen, oh my God, I got a graph. Here it is. Check out. This is an inverted curve of interest for the yen. Inverted. So this is actually going down. So as the yen is going up, people are losing interest. We are having the lowest interest in the yen that we've had like ever for the last 2 years. So do not expect the yen to be making any kind of serious committed moves. It's probably going to be just a bunch of sideways movement because this down move that we had, that is really pertaining to the risk off environment that we had when there was a lot of uncertainty regarding Brexit. The S&P 500 was dipping down again, so people were pulling their money out of risk assets and into safe haven assets, which the dollar yen is, you know, one of the biggest safe haven assets that we have. All right, I want to finish saying what's up to everybody in chat. Oh, that's it. We came to the end. Santa New Samantha. Hey, girl. Or no, that's a dude. Sorry. Hey, buddy. Henry Okapelecki, my first time. Welcome, Henry. That's awesome that you're here. Get to have you with us. I like how you call my surname. Yeah, shout out. All right, South Africa in the house. One of my favorite traders is from South Africa. His name is Trader Brand. He works with Axia Futures. I used to watch him over the weekend. Just all the material that he put out. He is top notch. And so South African traders kick tail. Trying to keep it PG. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Check this out. This is the Tesla. Remember, I told you guys that we're in a channel with Tesla going down, and that yesterday Elon Musk had a court case about his obsessive tweeting and all the crazy stuff that he said. Oh, there's something in my eye. All the crazy stuff that he said. Basically, there you have it. If you were to short the position yesterday, just because it's the natural thing to do, we're going down. Obviously, in any kind of court case, there can't be upside potential, right? It's either you're in trouble or you're fine, but there is no news to stimulate growth. So logically, the sell position, if anybody got a chance to get it, you know, high five to you. Good job, good trade, and you would have made 80% ROI. Return on your investment, which is a fantastic return on a one-day trade. So congratulations to those guys. So let's get started. We have the Canadian employment data coming out along with the non-farm payrolls for the states. Now, I want to say a little bit about the Canadian report. The Canadian dollar has been under a lot of pressure, especially coming from the point of interest rates. They were really close. I mean, Stephen Poloz, the president of the Bank of Canada, he came out and said that we might lower interest rates. And so this whole entire movement up, is that correct? No, excuse me. This whole entire movement up from March was the negative connotation that we were going to lower interest rates, which would have been bearish for the Canadian dollar. But we had Canadian GDP figures for January come out, and that really kept everything in check. Like the balances that we had from the top down, Canadian dollar strength was fueled by two things. First was the Canadian GDP report that came out better than the forecast, and second is the beautiful price of oil. Now, oil is doing a bull run, just running for the money, and so this can obviously not last for too long. And you know, once we reach this 61.8, we have a lot of ways to go to correct. So keep in mind that if you are making any kind of oil trade prognoses, we could very well drop down to these previous lows as a regular correction, But saying that, I do want to say that Goldman Sachs and a few other really top tier U.S. banks are seeing oil return back to the previous support level of 68, and for Brent that would be $80 for Brent crude oil. This is WTI, by the way, what we have here on the screen. Now back to the US dollar, Canadian dollar. These two currencies, the Canadian dollar and the US dollar, are the closest currencies that you can make money on. Now, I don't recommend trading the dollar CAD. Right now, we're looking at this as a way to understand the dynamics of these two currencies. Now, this just shows us, if we just, you know, exclude the dollar, right? The dollar has been moving up despite a lot of, you know, different things. The dollar remains in this peak area, so the euro is obviously remaining at the lower area, but sooner or later that will all change and the dollar needs to correct back down and the euro needs to grow, so watch out for that move as well. Now, we'll talk about the euro a little bit later. I'll add that to our list because there's a few things that I want to talk to you guys about in regards to the European economy and the European currency. Now, the path of least resistance we thought for the Canadian dollar was to grow. As we can see, the growth in the last week has been very stinted. And the DXY, as you can see, has also been running out of steam. It's doing that little consolidation phase, but that consolidation will more than likely end with the dollar dropping. And today, with the non-farm payrolls, we can actually see. Now, I'm not looking at US non-farm payrolls as a way to make easy money. I don't think that that's the picture right now, because last week, here we have ADP non-farm employment change. This is a precursor. This tells us what the employment change was from another organization that monitors precisely the same thing. This is employment change. This means how many people are making, or how many new jobs are created, and this is how much the price wage growth is for the current working population. So we had a growth, the forecast was much lower than 197,000, but the actual numbers for non-farm payrolls came out really low under the radar, and that's what we had the finishing touch for March. For March was a drop in the dollar, and then it grew from there. So with the Canadian economy, what are we going to have, you guys? So we have a double top pattern right here forming from the March area. So we are very much in a reversal pattern currently. Whether this will hold or not remains to be seen. Now, we do have, we're right in the middle with the Williams percentage, relative percentage indicator, and we are trading above both the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA. Now, this just indicates that we remain bullish. So I would just want to see a drop down below these two indicators in order to change for this currency. But like I said, this is more of forward guidance that we have, and I'm not necessarily looking to trade this currency in and of itself. Now, what currencies are going to be good to trade the Canadian dollar? Well, we can look at the Canadian dollar Japanese yen. Canadian dollar Japanese yen is absolutely showing us ways of coming back together. Now, this looks like a flag pattern. The only thing that does worry me is the lower lows that we're having, but despite the growth that we've had in this little uptrend, we haven't broken out of the out of the working area and into the overbought area. So if we have very strong Canadian employment data, that means that much of the population is working. Much of the population is working, and the unemployment rate is at 5.8% right now in the Canadian government, or sorry, in Canada. So that figure should stay roughly the same, but the history that we've had with that indicator is really strong. Like if we look at, so this figure was for February, this figure was for January. So January, there were 66.8 thousand new jobs created, and in February, 55.9 thousand jobs created. So experts, and it's not only me that finds this, but experts see that the next move will be down. Now, why do I say this? If we look historically on the graph, you see that there's usually two months of really high employment change, and then companies slow that down. Again, 2 months of really, now these are 5 years. This is a graph of 5 years worth of data. Again, 2 months of really strong data, next month we fall down. Again, 2 months of really strong data, next month we fall down. And the last little while, as the Canadian economy has been under more and more pressure due to the economic slowdown across the world, and the stock markets under pressure all over last year, right? We were basically in a consolidation. We went up in the beginning of the year, February, we tumbled down. Come March and April, we recovered to those levels, and then we stayed flat. And then September, November, December, the world stock markets continued crashing. So that was a lot of this up and down movement. And so now we had 2 really strong months. It could very well be that today's employment change will be negative. And that's what they have in the forecast. Like, this is the official forecast from Statistics Canada. They themselves are looking like a lot more people are going to be losing their jobs. So this is something to look out for. Out of the two pairs, this currency pair looks like it could be a little bit easier to read. So if the Canadian employment data comes out negative, you can expect the Canadian dollar and Japanese yen to come down at least to this level of 82.7. So that is at least $1.20 price difference from what we have today. Now, another currency that you can look for besides this is the EuroCAD. The euro is one of those currencies that is ready to pounce, ready to bounce. And you can see that in this currency pair, we already started a move upwards. When we're bouncing off from this level of support, and we already started the move up. So here we have 1, 2 bullish candles. Today is already bullish. Today's already bullish, and you have all of this upside from 150 to 151, 100. So this is one of the better currencies that you guys can trade off of and can speculate in the upcoming employment change for the Canadian government. Now, I want to keep it cool, and I want to make a few trades for you guys live as well. So let's see if we can pop open this EuroCAD. And I am looking into Euro strength. So if we do end up breaking through this exponential moving average, right here, the 50. I do want to trade, but I want to trade 0.5 of my account. Now keep in mind that the leverage on these on the account by default is 1 to 400. So whatever amount that I'm putting in right here, that is going to be 400 times as much. 400 times. So again, we break through this level, I definitely want to be in, and I'm going to double click it to open the window, the order window, and take it at about 150, 150.47. Perfect. And I do want to slap on the stop loss right away, but it is a volatile time. So if anything, we will come back through here, come down through there, and I will get out of the trade. But as you can see, there's a lot of upside that we have as well. So it's not going to be like this is a bad trade. We are at the bottom of this channel. We are at the very bottom of the channel, so it is actually going to be a pretty good trade. You know, from October 17th, we started to, actually here was the first time, and from January 18th was when this channel was, you know, first very concretely formed, and we do have downside potential. Like starting from this impulse, the correction would be finalized at 61.8, but again, this isn't science, this is more of an art. So all in all, we are in an uptrend, and it looks like the uptrend is tightening more to the upside. Again, we broke out through this channel, and but we have more created a lower trend down. So more of a triangle. Again, with the position for the euro dollar, I am expecting more euro strength in the time to come. And the European government, believe you me, is working very diligently at providing more liquidity to the government. And we'll talk about the central banks a little bit later. I just want to move on to the US non-farm payrolls. Now for the US non-farm payrolls, this is going to be a coin toss. I'm not sure which direction it is going to go. We were pretty positive with the non-farm payrolls, ADP non-farm employment change, but it did come below the forecast. So again, if non-farm payrolls comes a little bit before the forecast, it won't have that much of a systemic risk for the US government. But if the figures are a lot less, this isn't only a day-long speculative trade. This will be a whole bearish environment for the US economy, because why is non-farm payrolls so important for the US economy? It's not only that we as traders can speculate, you know, just on some sort of employment data. It is has more to do with the health of the US economy, right? The working class, the working people, how well are they doing? And they are the lifeline, the blood of the economy, right? If they spend more, and the US is notorious for overspending and overindulging, if they're going to slow down with their spending, their businesses are first going to feel the effect. If their businesses feel the effect, then they will cut more jobs, then they will cut more salaries, which in turn will cause a self-propelling loop that will just drag the economy down. That's why there's business cycles, and they are fact. It's not something that can be synthetically manipulated like the central banks are doing right now for forever. You know, and we'll talk about this a little bit later too. That's why I had the Central Bank of China balance sheet up on the screen, because as the stock market was falling, right, it was because the central banks were selling off their assets. So how does this work for those of you that are new? Basically, central banks across the world, they print money. They decide that we need to have fiscal stimulus, right? That means that we're stimulating money, monetary policy. And what they're doing is they're not really printing the money, they're creating zeros on the computer screen, and then with those zeros, through different banks that they, that have great relationships with the government, through those banks, they buy financial assets. So this huge spike right here in December 2018 was the People's Bank of China buying a bunch of Chinese assets. Whether it's debt, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds, they are buying, and that propped up the stock market. Now, the stock market continued rising all through the start of the year, and they continued slowly pushing off their assets. Now, the U.S. bank is doing the same thing. But let's talk a little bit about U.S.-China trade talks, because that is pretty important, and that is what has been a large decision for investors on how they should allocate their capital on the markets. So the U.S. and China trade situation has become better. We're not getting concrete facts, but both from the Chinese side and the U.S. side, I have read that progress has been made. Progress has been made, and that China is now pushing for a quick conclusion and signing of some documents, right? Because before, it was a verbal agreement. When we finished the trade talks in March, representatives from the Chinese trade delegation, they came out with the fact that, we agreed, and President Trump was quick to tweet that, good, we came to a verbal agreement with China. Now their next battle is that both sides stick to the agreement, that everybody honors their word. And the World Trade Organization, WTO, they came out yesterday with some pretty negative forecasts for the world, basically. Trade negotiations have slipped so far that the report from the WTO was really negative. And this affects every single business in the United States, from tech stocks to farmers to commodity production. Everything is uncertain right now in the United States. But despite this uncertainty, saying that, I also want to point out that the U.S. stock market is still in a bullish leg. We are still growing. So I can't really say that with certainty that the U.S. economy is falling. It's not. We have the opposite effect. Now, the central bank is doing everything possible to keep this up. Last week, when the U.S. Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, when they came out with an interest rate decision, they were pretty adamant on not raising interest rates anymore, and that they would stop selling their assets. Now, you guys know that from 2008, the U.S. Central Bank has been printing money nonstop. They went through 4 or 5 legs of quantitative easing. Now they're on a program of quantitative tightening, right? They're tightening the belt. And what that means is that everything that they've bought over the last decade, they are now selling back into the market. Now, when they first announced that they were selling that at $50 billion a month worth of assets, this happened. This leg down happened when they first said that, and they continued selling with I don't know who, but somebody is also interested in buying whatever they're selling at these prices here. So right now they've lowered that tightening policy to $35 billion a month, and that was this huge spike up that we had here, right? Last week they announced it. The stock market breathed a heavy sigh of relief that, okay, everything should be good. But is it really good, you guys? I don't know. I want to trade the facts. My name is not Yaroslav Nostradamus. It is Yaroslav Birchenko, and so I want to trade the facts. I want price to pick a direction before I do. Now, moving on to Brexit. If we can talk a little bit about this, some of the great news that we had was that the members of Parliament have voted that no Brexit deal would be happening. So basically, they are ready to collude in order to make at least something happen. So it's somewhat productive, and Theresa May has partnered up with Jeremy Corbyn from the Labour Party. Now, if you don't live in Great Britain, probably a lot of this is just mumbo jumbo for you, but think about it this way, that there are now friends being made within the government. If before everybody was yelling and screaming and it was chaos and nobody had any, inclination of what can be done, now that they agreed on one thing and now allies are being made. So, how much does this affect the pound? Very little, but it does give us an understanding that too much more downside to the bottom has been eliminated. To me as a trader, that again makes me breathe a sigh of relief because I'm no longer looking to go crazy short down. This whole time I was thinking it's all bad, but it's not, right? We are having little teeny tiny steps of success in the time to come. Now, Angela Merkel from the European Union has come out and said that she's also ready to work on having a good deal with Brexit. But she's always been one of the more lenient European leaders for the Western faction, and God bless her soul. She's doing a good job, I believe, although mistakes were made, but who am I to judge? Now, what else do I want to tell you about the pound dollar? Right now is a good time to look at the pound, despite us breaking through this line here. I should make this line a little bit brighter. Come on, baby. All right, something like this. There we go. That's easier to see. So despite, no, that's the same color as the graph. Now, despite us breaking through this level here, it has become a green bar. So we do have interest from buyers to make sure that things go through. And now we're up above the 50 EMA. This could be a good opportunity to enter with stop losses here, but again, it's not close enough. And remember, we as traders, we make little points of profits. So if you don't have enough patience to get in on the perfect trade, then unfortunately you will lose those pips over the course of the year, and that will bring about more difficulties. Now, if we look at the opposite side of the negotiation, the European Union and their policies, we had some, actually I wanted to look at the DAX index with you guys. DAX has experienced some great growth over the last week. Now, despite there being concerns of the automotive industry really taking a beating, just because consumption of new cars has dropped dramatically. There's been a lot of mergers on the financial side for the automotive industry, and a lot of partnerships like Daimler, Chrysler with Volkswagen, and a lot of companies coming together to provide their own ride-hailing services and car sharing and things like that. Taxi services that were created from automotive makers. So there's a huge miss on German factory growth right here. That drove the price of the euro down and kept it down for this week. Right here we are on Monday. What can we expect in the near future? We can expect the European Union to partner with China. Right? The European Union isn't much better with their GDP growth than the other nations. And there's a lot of turmoil within the country, like within France and Spain. Their stock markets are not doing so good, and the bull market that we're seeing right now in the DAX, the reason I wanted to show you, could be coming to an end. So if you guys are looking for an index to speculate on, where we're looking for a change of trend, here with the German DAX, right, this does look very much like a top up, and here we have the first signs of a reversal. So if you guys want to get in on something quick, again, Friday is that day that people take profits off the table, and as you can see, there's a lot of profits to be taken right here. So another great trade to finish off the day for you guys could be the DAX. Now, the European Central Bank, this is another one of the more important things that I wanted to share with you guys. The ECB, remember I told you guys yesterday that they were looking at a way to bail out banks that were losing money because the European Union has a 0% interest rate, right? So the government pays no money if you take that if you deposit money, you get no reward for stashing your money, so you have to invest it in other places. And banks have been carrying losses because of that policy. And what what the European Central Bank is considering doing is giving money, paying banks to make loans. So basically, banks will go out and give loans to the public, to companies, to take money for free, basically. And the banks get paid for that. So it's really an interesting scheme. If any of you guys live in Europe, talk about it in chat. What does that look like for you? I would love to live in a country where they will give me money. I, as a speculator, I'll take that loan any day. I'll take that money and put it in stocks and see what comes of that. Again, if I have to pay very little money onto that as credit, oh man, I would for sure take that. Now, one of the topics, because we're talking about the ECB, is I want to talk about the destructive policies of central banks. Now, for the last 2 weeks, we were on this theme of global dovishness. What does that mean? That means every central bank was thinking of lowering interest rates. Now, for those of you that are not students of economy, of economic practices, basically, the central bank, the biggest governing body for whatever country you live in, they decide what the amount of interest you have to pay for taking money out of the bank. So they give credit to lower banks, to commercial banks, and then those banks then lend money to businesses and individuals. Excuse me. And the central bank decides what that interest rate is. So that's called monetary policy. So that monetary interest rate, for now, in the different countries, I'll show you guys this real quick. Here you can go to investing.com and really quickly scroll down to the bottom here, and you can see central bank interest rates for all the major economies, and you can see that they're not very high. You may have to pay something around 5%. Here in Russia, we have to pay 20%. Like here, our interest rate is 7.75, and we have to pay 20%. So banks obviously get more money from that. That's how they make their money. And another scheme that Russian banks used to do is they used to borrow money from the European banks, where the interest rate is 0, and then lend it to Russian people at an interest rate of 20. So you can imagine that their profits were through the roof. But they kept saying, oh, we're doing so poor, it's so bad. So it's a game. Life is a game. Economics is a game. You guys are here, you're in the right place, you're learning the rules of the game. So congratulations to those guys that are still with us in chat now. I will look at chat, but more towards the end of the webinar, because there's a lot of things that I want to say to you guys. Okay, we only got 20 more minutes. So quickly, now the debate is ongoing, and we're looking at the US economy, and we're looking at the dollar index. The Federal Reserve has been pushing back. Donald Trump has tweeted lately that the hiking of interest rates has been destructive to the US economy, and that they should lower rates right now. And the representatives from the Federal Reserve have been pushing back and saying, okay, Mr. Trump, slow down there, buddy. So we stopped raising interest rates, but we're going to keep interest rates where they are for some time. Now, that's quite wise on their part, because economies that have no room to go down are in big trouble, like the European Union, like the Bank of Japan, and like Switzerland, because they have 0 or negative interest rates. When the economy hits the floor, there's going to be no way to stimulate, because lowering interest rates actually stimulates economic growth. And so for some reason, the European Central Bank has decided to overstimulate the economy, and that's what we see currently, and that's why there's going to be a lot of other manipulative actions taken by the European government and by the central bank in order to alleviate this situation of stress, of abysmal overfunding for everything, for everybody. So what I think Trump right now is doing, he wants to change some of the board members in the Federal Reserve to some of his allies so that then he can, single-handedly manipulate the currency. Is that a wise decision? Probably not. How much does Trump know about the economy? I don't know. I'm not his teacher. But I do think that the Federal Reserve is ahead of the curve. So if we're thinking of what economies will fail first, I don't think the US is first in line. So keep that in mind, you guys, as well. And one of the last things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, that would definitely be the central bank's balance sheets. This is a website I want all of you guys to learn to use. So trading economics gives you a lot more data than just the than the economic calendar, and you can always go to trading economics to get your data for different times, right? They come out on time. They're really good. They have their own calendar right here. So you can really get a whole bunch of information from it, and I really like the way it looks, and there's not a lot of, there's actually no, what's it called, commercials. So there's no marketing that, you know, bombards you with buy this and buy that. So I do love this website. I use it all the time. I recommend you guys do it as well. Okay, I want to look at chat, you guys. I want to talk to you guys so much, but let's continue with what I wanted to talk about. So China's reserves are falling. I want to keep looking at this page right here, because this will be an indication of what's happening with the global balance sheets, right? China is the second largest economy. And if we look at the Hang Seng index, it has shot up like crazy. And what I believe is that, like, look at this. This is just nuts. I believe they broke through this level yesterday and stayed right above it. What I believe is that the Chinese government is buying their own stocks again, basically to get out of the situation where everything is slowing down, right? The European Union is changing its laws, it's stimulating their monetary policy. China is pumping cash into the economy. So that's what's going on with central banks, and they buy their own stocks. Now, guys, I want to quickly move on to trading psychology. So if you guys have any questions, please ask them right now in chat. But I promise to talk about the different things that are affecting the market. Now, the last thing here, let's look at the JPY, USD JPY. The yen is not going where I thought it would go, and the interest that people have for the yen has dropped significantly. So this basically indicates that there are barely any positions open for the yen right now. So if you're expecting the yen to go up or down, don't. It's staying right here, right where it is. So this is going to be the range for the yen to come. I mean, it can jump out, get back in, jump out, came back in. But 110, 111 has been the average price for the yen, you know, for the last few years. So yeah, let's continue with psychology. Okay, you guys, this is one of the things. So remember, to be an awesome trader, you have to be an awesome human being, I believe. Now, how do you become a top-notch performer? What do all athletes do without question? They all mentor themselves to perform well. I talked about this the other day, but I was watching MMA. One of my favorite fighters is George St. Pierre, JSP. He's this young guy from Canada. I'm also from Canada. He's a great fighter. He's very technical. He's a striker. He's a grappler. And he, before each and every fight, he sits in front of the mirror and tells himself, I'm a good fighter. I know how to show these young guys how to do the #1 fighting. I'm a very tough warrior. I fight for my life. I fight for the championship. I will make it. I have trained every day. So I'm doing a terrible French accent, but basically he gets in the right mind state. Now, he's not the only one. Every single coach, and you need to be your own coach, every single coach talks to their students about, you know, keeping in mind the right mindset. So what do you do as a trader? You come to sit in front of your computer, and before you start trading, you visualize inside your head the perfect trade. You visualize your pattern. Now, what you guys need to do, like, I don't know if I can show you this. You need to have a notebook online of all of your trades. Nobody saw that. So you need to have a notebook of all your trades, your trade strategies, right? So here's my playbook. I have 30 strategies right here with a description for each one. So you need to have all these strategies in your head, and you need to visualize, okay, today we're trading the dollar yen. I see myself making a perfect trade from the consolidation. Now it'll be from the up to the down, down to the up, whatever. Just put yourself into that mind state of a winner. This is key. This is absolutely key. Trading is a money sport. Money is your sport. It's your game. Come to it like a professional. Don't come drunk. Don't come upset. Don't come after a breakup. Don't come when you're sick. Stay away from your computer terminal if you are not in a winner's mind state. Okay, this is very important, because the worst part is when you feel bad, when you feel sick, you lose money, and then you show up in chat complaining. Oh, I lost money. You know what? When somebody says they made money, they took your money. When you say you lost money, and we have Tanvir HDTV happy as a mofo in chat saying, woo, guys, what's up? Everybody doing good? How are you guys feeling? That's because he took your money yesterday. So don't be that whiny guy. Know that, okay, if you lost your money, you got God on the market because you didn't have enough patience, you don't know what you're doing, so on and so forth. I'm sorry I got to be tough with you, but sometimes, you know, as your coach, I got to be tough with you. All of my mentors were tough with me. They called me names. Like when I lost money and I went and complained, that, you know, sorry guys, I also lost money when I started, and I also complained. And I said, man, I was stupid. I did this bad trade. You know what my mentor said? He smacked me in the head, said, you are an idiot. And I was like, I hate you. This is not what I want. I want some comfort food. I want you to comfort my soul. No, that's not what I needed, because if he would have comforted me, I would have learned nothing. I would have been the same stupid beginner trader I was. But when everybody's kicking my ass, after I'm done crying about losing, you know, my money, I come back and I look at the chart and I was like, why did I make that trade? Why did I lose that money? What would have been the best entry? And I wrote 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 everything down. And not only online, I showed you, I have 3 notebooks for trading. I have a notebook for learning trading. I have a notebook that I write down my trades in, like my logic, my psychology behind opening a trade. And I record my videos of me trading throughout the day, so that then I can look and say, why did I make those mistakes? So very, very important. Second point, I want to move on because I take a lot of time blabbing. Second point is that have a great base of knowledge. The fact that you guys have come to this webinar, you are on the right path. Hallelujah, you're doing the right thing. This is exactly what you got to be doing. You got to come to the best people that can teach you the best stuff. We are so lucky. You are so lucky. I am so lucky because we learned from developing countries. The best traders are in advanced countries, are in prosperous countries. We in third world countries, we have difficulty finding good mentors. We have difficulty finding good information. But the internet has made it so much more accessible for us, like hallelujah. So have a great knowledge base. Remember, to be a good trader is the same thing to be a good doctor. You need to practice a lot and you need to learn a lot. I thought this was going to be the easiest job in the world. Boy, was I wrong. But I learned to love hard work. And that's why I love trading, because it makes me a better person. A better person. I'm more focused now. I spend no time wasted, right? It goes towards a cause. Actually, I do. Sometimes on Saturday, sometimes I watch trading movies. So I do have a little bit of downtime. And that's important. Reserve your emotional capital. So remind yourself that it's real money. This is a really good thing. If you're trading a demo account, you have to remind yourself that it's real money. And whether when you're trading a non-real account, like when you're trading a real account, when I trade and when I trade really well, especially I close every single day for a month in positive territory. That's only happened once in 2017. But when that happened, I got a really hot head and I started going short oil more than I should have had. And I blew up my account. So can you imagine winning every single day and then trying to trade the OPEC meeting news? We know that oil is going to go down. Everybody knows it. But I make a position so big, I got so greedy that I got margin called when price went up like $2. It was just a fluctuation up and then shot straight down. If it would have shot straight down right away, I would have been rich, but it didn't. So remind yourself that it's real money, and the best trading strategy that I've ever had is to use very small amounts. I never use more than 2% of my account, and that has helped me a lot in trading. You need to observe the habits of successful traders. This is very important. You need to find people or emulate people that actually trade on the markets and find out what they're doing and try to copy what they're doing. The best advice that I can give you, try not to create something new. Don't be that guy that says, I have this new amazing strategy, the Holy Grail. Believe me, it's not as good as tried and tested and old strategies. That's why in my playbook, there's almost nothing new. In my playbook, I have only old trades that I've read once, twice, 3 times in many different places and that I've heard many different profitable traders talk about and use. All right? Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. And that's part of the reason I took this job, is so that I can practice with you guys together. So practice all the time. Observe your progress over time. Keep a diary. Keep your trades, your trade history, keep it in an Excel sheet. Look at it at the end of every week. Friday is one of those days when the market is either flat or when it's reversing and you have no idea when to get in on a trade. Take that time, even after the market closes. Take that time to look at your trades. Observe your progress. Make notes. Quantify all the different things that you're doing. Quantify basically means put everything into numbers. Put everything into numbers. Control your trading psychology after a loss. Now, these are all good things that you should be doing, right? This is the good list. So control your trading after a loss. When you take a loss, it is the easiest time to double down. It is the easiest time to try to make all that money back and more. The easiest time to get greedy. Don't do that. When you make a loss, it's okay. Remind yourself that if you look at your trade history, on average, you're making more money than you lose. But you will lose all the time, and make sure that when you do lose, you don't let those losers become account crushing, right? Your number 1 goal is to not lose money. Your number 2 goal is to look at goal number 1, all right? Keep that in mind, you guys, all the time with you. Stick with your trading plan. There was a time that I traded live just 2 weeks ago with you guys, and I had 3 indicators on my screen, and I made the dumb decision to go against 2 of the indicators, right? We had mixed signals, but I was under pressure to show you guys a trade, right away. And so I did the mistake of ignoring my trade signals, and I paid for it live. I looked like an idiot. So for those of you that are wondering why I don't trade live, because I don't need to. I don't need to show you guys anything, right? If you don't believe me, you can go somewhere else. When I do start trading, and you guys will see my account, everybody will be in line to try to buy my signal. But that's fine. Like I said, it's neither here nor there. My job is to teach you the golden nuggets that I've accumulated over the years. It's your job whether to take them and run with them or not. I don't care. Next is follow market trends. Follow market trends. One of the easiest things that I can tell you guys to do, now it's a little bit more difficult with the currency market because you can see that currencies go up and down, but basically what's a good trading currency? The Australian dollar. Follow market trends. Like here, we're obviously in a down market. right here, we're at the top of the consolidation phase. Guys, if non-farm payrolls come out better than expected, guys, this currency is going to drop all the way down here. We are in a bearish trend for the Australian dollar. So you should never be long if you can be short. This is one of the ways that you can save yourself 50% of your losses. You look at the 1 week time frame, you witness where it's going, and you eliminate one of the options. Okay, we're going down, I will not buy. Super easy, but so many traders make the mistake of going against the global trend. Don't do that. Trade with the trend. Trade with the trend. Trend is your friend until it ends. All right, so importance of stop orders and mental orders. Guys, it cannot be emphasized. When I open this position, I remember in my mind that I'm waiting for Canadian employment data. Okay, I remember that in a few hours, I'm going to put everything aside, I'm going to turn off my telephone, and I'm going to be looking at this trade. I'm not putting a stop loss right away because I know where we are in relation to the rest of the graph. This is a good time to buy. But also, if the employment data is awful, I'm closing this position right away. I have 2 screens. On one screen, I'm going to be having trading economics. On the other screen, I'm going to have my finger on the X. So it's not a game, you guys. This is real money. And the last thing is be disciplined and never stop learning. This is both we already touched, always learn, and we already touched being disciplined, but it is very important. Now, this is something that I continuously struggled with until I realized that discipline goes everywhere, okay? If you drink once in a while, like on the weekends, is drinking good for you? Probably not. Is it a time where you give in against your discipline? Probably. Is not going to the gym, going against being disciplined? Yeah. So there is no surefire way to be disciplined in trading if you are not disciplined in the rest of your life. I'll tell you how it bleeds in my life. I hate going to the gym, right? I don't like lifting heavy stuff. Why would I do that? But I do it to remind myself that I need to be disciplined as a trader. If I miss 1 day of training in the gym, I beat myself up. I really beat myself up. You're an idiot. You're a loser. Sorry, I don't do that. I never do that. But it's like I remember in the back of my head, it's bad to go from negativity. I try to go towards positivity. So I go to the gym to remind myself that I'm a great trader. I'm a disciplined trader. That's why I go to the gym. No longer does it work for me that I want, the hottest girlfriend. That's not why I go to the gym. No longer do I go to the gym because it's good for me, because I want to be big and strong. No, only trading. That's the only motivation I need. So I go to the gym because I'm a great trader. I get up early because I'm a great trader. I eat healthy because I'm a great trader. I spend my time wisely. Like last night, I got home from university at 12 at night. At 12 at night. It takes me 2 hours to get to my classes. I'm studying for my CFA. And when I come back home, I started learning about trading until like 1 a.m. and then went to bed, just crashed. So this is a way that you guys can focus on your trading. Your whole life should be disciplined. You will learn to love trading. You will learn to love yourself. You will learn to believe in yourself. And these little things, like coming to an hour-long webinar, will seem easy and normal for you. Hard work has now become normal for me. So that's what I want to leave you guys with. Take the time to work on your personal trading psychology, and you can improve your overall life. And so much of trading is mental, you guys. It's important that you remain diligent and attentive when you're learning and when you're trading. But keep in mind that you got to be detached enough to not let your emotions get in the way of your trading. All right? Follow these tips and you can take a big step towards becoming stronger and a more stable trader. I'm going to quickly look at chat, you guys, to see what you guys are saying. Dollar yen. Okay, yeah, so dollar yen, you guys, probably not going to go anywhere. The only thing I wanted to show you guys is this. that traders have stopped, and a lot of retail traders, like if we look here on our graph, where's sentiment? So here we got sentiment, and then let's look up the dollar yen. So when I was looking at sentiment this morning, a lot of traders were short, right? I mean, what does this look like? It looks like the end of the bull rush. Traders are short. I don't agree with that. Whenever everybody gets short, I get long. I'm a contrarian because people that trade from home have no clue what the hell's going on. People have no idea. But the insiders, they do. And a lot of insiders trade to eat, you know, at home traders. That's how they make money. Like a big whale, they eat all the little krill, all the little shrimp in the ocean. Henry Opakiliki, I hope you learned something new, bro. Good to have you with us. Santosh Kadam, hello. Can someone please send me a link to the Trade economic calendar? Yesterday I closed my window by mistake. Sure, buddy, I'll send you the link right now. There you go. Elim Trade economic calendar. What happened live streaming not seen? Whoa, did anybody else not see the webinar? It looks good for me, man. Looks like it's working. Good stuff. Not working in India. Jacob, but I can deposit. My card doesn't support international transactions. There you go. Subhanas Singh said his card doesn't support international transactions. You may have to go to your bank and do a wire transfer, or you can use your card to top up a payment system like PayPal. But either way, you can go here to make a deposit and then check what the different systems are. Like here. Damn it. Okay, so I can't show you guys. This is why I can't answer your technical questions, because I got cut off from this system. So, yeah. Everyone knew Ronaldo, Messi did not get professional at the first go. They all worked hard and have the winner's mindset. Yeah, exactly. Winner's mindset goes for everybody and trading as well, right? Hey, Friday webinars have been my favorite one. All right, Louisiana, good, good. Thank you for your positive feedback. Thank you, wise words. I'm so motivated now. Right on, that's my goal. So you guys spend the weekend kicking ass and taking names. Okay, sorry. Whew. You guys pump me up too as well. I want you guys to spend your weekends just awesome, just happy. I've spent the last few months of my life where every weekend was productive. Just awesome. It feels so good. I feel like I'm on the right track in life, and I want you guys to feel the same way. So I hope that can be a little bit, yeah. Tanvir HD TV is like #1, control emotions. I'm working on it. Philip Apong, also be in a good mood. Yeah. How many indicators do you suggest while trading? I use about 2 or 3. Rajat, my favorite indicators are the Williams percentage R. Also, I like the parabolic SAR, but I very rarely use it. It just shows me when a quick change of trend is happening. Sometimes I use Bollinger Bands, like when we have outliers, especially if we're in a flat, right? When we're up here, I see that, okay, maybe it's time to reverse, especially if this reversal comes together with the parabolic SAR. MACD I don't use anymore, and I use 2 moving averages. So Rajat, this is one of the more important things. Here you can see on my graph I have this light blue line and this gold line. Those are moving averages of 50 and 200. This is statistically, mathematically, the best moving averages for you to use. EMA of 50 incorporates 2.5 months of trading, and the 200 EMA is about a year's worth of trading. But it's only if on the daily graph. So it just shows you what a quarter is like in relation to a year. So that's really big, and you can use those on a smaller time frame. Like here, if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, right, they're still active. They still show us what's going on. But I like to look from the top down, and then when I have an entry point from the top down, then I zoom into the 1 hour to get that perfect little candle, little cherry on top. All right, also be in a good mood. All right, hope I answered that question. Subhasas Singh, good stuff. Tanvir HGTV, thank you for today as well. I'm glad to see all you guys with me. You guys have a beautiful weekend. My name is Yaroslav. I wish all you guys good luck trading out there. Don't give up, and you will make it. One day you may. All right, you guys, have a great weekend, everybody. See you on Monday when we will talk about what's happened over the weekend and plan our trades for the weekend. If you enjoyed today's webinar, please leave me a thumbs up. That's the way that my bosses know that I'm doing a good job. And please subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified whenever new videos come out. I'm not the only analyst in the company. We have a lot of other great guys that offer great information. All right, you guys, everybody have a great weekend and good luck trading out there. Peace!